Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Gulfstream Park here on Saturday. It's January the 27th, 2018. It's Pegasus World Cup day from Gulfstream. It's an excellent card of racing. I'm going to look at all the stakes races. We have a lot of them to get to. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean around the world. There's an excellent, like I said, there's an excellent card from Gulfstream. If you want the other races, the non-stakes races, you're going to have to follow me on my Twitter page at HorseRacingKid5. So go do that. Let's get on to today's stakes action. Starting off with race number 3, third race from Gulfstream Park. It's the 49th running of the La Provence Handicap Grade 3 event, going for a purse of $200,000. It's your fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 7 horses tackling the distance of ground here of 2,400 meters for our international viewers, or 1 mile and 1/2 on the Gulfstream Park turf course. Well, I think it's a turf course by the looks of it. It just looks like a tire track city by watching the replays this week, but last few weeks actually, or shall I say the last few years since they went to year-round racing. I don't think that turf course can really handle, in my eyes, year-round racing. I think they're going to have to refurb it hopefully during the summer, but they'll be running on the inner portion of the turf course, which is the rails out 0 feet, which is very nice. So they'll be seeing some fresh lawn today, because they haven't run 0 feet in quite a few weeks. But my top pick in this race, I'm going to use the favorite, 7-horse Apple Betty. I'm going to go 7-2-5-4 in the superfecta. 7-2-5-4 super. Top pick number 7, Apple Betty. 7-5. John Velazquez is on the Shug McGahee trained 5-year-old mare by Galileo. Most recently, his horse had to start 22nd of October. That came at Keeneland, 1.5 miles, 2,400 meters in the Grade 3 Dowager. This horse won by 3.5 lengths that day. Just tracked the leaders that day, got the lead, and took off clear. Very nice, easy victory at 3-1. This horse, for the prior start, you have to go 10 weeks earlier. The 5th of August, came at Saratoga, 1.5 mile inner turf course in the Grade 3 Waya. Horse finished 4th by 2.25 lengths that day. Set the pace most of the race. Got overtaken right before the wire, but I think she ran a little bit too fast early on. It just wasn't her day to win. And then July the 9th here in New York at Belmont, 1.5 miles in the ungraded River Memory Stakes. Source won by 1.5 lengths. Field 9 horses, wide poster on the Widener didn't affect this horse that day. On lead all throughout, won by half length. An all-around great victory. She's a very nice horse here. She's run the best out of anybody here in the last year. I think she's run a big one. 7-5. I know it's not the best price, but you're going to have to take it. She would be a single in the early pick 5 or 4 for me. So to recap my bets for the third from Gulfstream, it's the 49th running of the Grade 3 La Provence Handicap. Going to go with the 7-horse Apple Betty. Going to go 7-2-5-4 in the superfecta. So we're going to skip over to race number 6 now from Gulfstream Park. The 6th race, and I think it's the most difficult race to look on today's program from Gulfstream. The 6th race, it's the 9th running of the Ladies Turf Sprint. Purse $175,000. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds. It's going to be 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 12 horses going the distance of ground of 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the Gulfstream Park turf course. Rails at 84 feet, which is, from experience, 84 feet is the main, 84 feet on the turf course is the main rail setting when the rails are out. That's like their A course, I would guess, from experience, from years past, from experience of the course. They'll be seeing a bit of a used turf course, not like 0 feet where they haven't used it in quite a few weeks, but, you're going to have some nice tire tracks on this course. My top pick in this race, I like the number 10 horse, Pretty Perfection. I'm going to go 10-5-3-7 in the superfecta. 10-5-3-7 super. Top pick number 10, Pretty Perfection. 4-1, Nick Juarez is on the 6-year-old mare by Majestic Perfection. Kelly Breen trains this one. This horse, has been running okay as of late. Last one wasn't the best of starts, though, in the Sugar Squirrel at Gulfstream. 6 furlongs, December the 16th. It was on the dirt. This horse finished 6 by 5 3/4 lengths. Really didn't break that well and just had nothing that day. I do think this horse is a better turf horse. Before that, this horse won 2 in a row on the dirt. One allowance race for 70,000 at Churchill, going 5/8, and then a Park 6 furlongs allowance race for 51,000, going 6 furlongs. Horse won by 4.5 lengths. But those races, this horse should have definitely won. But going back to this horse's turf runs, this turf course ran in the Captiva Island last year, last March the 11th on this course, 5 furlongs. This horse won by a half length. didn't break all that well, broke about mid-pack, but stalked that day, got the lead, and took off clear at the end. Very nice victory. Ran this race last year and won it by 1.5 lengths. Broke about mid-pack that day, a little bit wide, but again closed up well. This horse is 3 for 3 on this turf course, and all 3 victories were just very easy, great runs. She'll like the firm ground. She has a little bit of a wide posture to overcome, but she did win from the 10 barrier in early 2017. At 4-1, I'll take my chances with this one in this very wide open race. In a multi-race wager, I would go 4 deep using all 4 horses I have in my superfecta for like pick 4, pick 5, whatever. But to recap my bets now for the 6th from Gulfstream, it's the 9th running of the ladies' turf sprint. Going to go with the 10 horse, Pretty Perfection. Going to go 10, 5, 3, 7 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 7 from Gulfstream. The 7th race, it's the 33rd running of the Fred W. Hooper Stakes. Grade 3, purse $175,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 11 horses going the 1,600-meter trip or 1 turn mile on the Gulfstream Park dirt course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile. And I show the diagram. It just gives me a second to look down in my notes, so just bear with me. Top pick in this race, I like the number 9 horse, number 9, who is Game Over. I'm going to go 9-2-8-6 in the superfecta, 9-2-8-6 super. Top pick number 9, Game Over, 10-1. Tyler Gaffleone is on this Jorge Navarro trained 4-year-old colt by Mineshaft. This horse is entered for the Pegasus World Cup, but the only way he runs is if one of the horses scratches, actually 2 of the horses scratches, he gets in, which is unlikely. I think he'll be running here, and I think he'll do a lot better in this race anyway. This horse is coming off a bit of a layoff. Hasn't run since the 23rd of September. Can't speak all of a sudden for the last day, but ran the ran the 23rd of September at Parks, mile and the 8th in the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. First time it was Grade 1. This horse finished 4th that day by 9.25 lengths. Just tracked the leaders that day and closed up a tiny bit at the end, but it was, it was an okay race for Grade 1 quality horses. West Coast is running actually in the in the Pegasus later on, who won and actually won the Travers a few weeks earlier. But before that, in the West Virginia Derby at Mountaineer, mile 8th, August 5th, horse finished 2nd by length. Stalked that day, closed up well, just missed, but it wasn't a half bad running. And then the Ohio Derby at Thistle, mile 8th, June 24th, probably the horse's worst race. He finished 5th by 9.75 lengths, didn't break all that well, was wide, and just the horse's wheels were spinning that day in the stretch. It just wasn't his day to win. But I think here, 1 turn mile on a racetrack this horse trained pretty nice on, I think he can run a big one, so watch out at 10-1. So to recap my bets for the 7th from Gulfstream, it's the 33rd running of the Grade 3 Fred W. Hooper Stakes. Gonna go with the number 9 horse, Game Over. Gonna go 9-2-8-6 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 8 from Gulfstream. The 8th race, it's one of my favorite races in North America. Used to be run at Calder, but the 8th race, it's the 51st running of the WL McKnight Handicap. Grade 3 purse $200,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 9 horses going the distance of ground here of 2,400 meters or 1 mile and 1/2 on the Gulfstream Park turf course. Rails at 0 feet, so they'll be using the inner portion of the turf course. 2,400 meters, mile and a half. This is a beginning of pick 5 here. I'm not going to play the pick 5. I'm going to play actually the pick 4, the late pick 4. This is another great race. It's always been a great race in years past. My top pick in this year's running of the McKnight, I like the 7 horse Oscar nominated. I'm going to go 7-9. 5-3 in the superfecta, 7-9-5-3 super. Top pick number 7, Oscar nominated, 3-1. Jose Ortiz on this 5-year-old Ridgeling by Kitten's Joy. His daddy got this distance very well. But most recently, his horse had to start here in New York and Queens on the 11th of November at Aqueduct. Mile 3/8 on the inner turf course in the Grade 3 Red Smith. Horse finished the 8th by 5.25 lengths. Was just a little over the 9-2 third choice, and then quicken up. It was a weird run. He should have really had a great run, but he didn't. He just was empty that day. It was an end of a very tough campaign, so maybe he needed the break. They gave this horse about 10 weeks or almost 12 weeks now layoff, and I think that's going to be a good thing. He should also like the warmer weather and the extra pace in this race, but it was a weird run. He should actually did a lot better. Before that, about 3 weeks earlier, the 15th of October in Canada, Woodbine, soft ground, 2,400 meters or a mile and a half, the Grade 1 Canadian International. This horse horse finished second by 10 3/4 lengths behind Bullard's Alley, who's running in this one. It rained about an hour to post, and it got the course very wet. This horse closed up well, but Bullard's Alley just really liked that soft ground. He just ran a little bit better. And then this horse is probably one of this horse's best running races ever. Came out in Kentucky Downs, 9th of September, mile and a half in the Grade 3 Kentucky Turf Cup. This horse won by a head. Going back into his form guide, he likes running at Kentucky Downs. That win in the Turf Cup, he sat back early, closed up well at the end, just got there. Very nice victory. His only victory in 2017, but he was running in some tough races. He finished 8th in the Arlington Million, 7th in the UN, 3rd in the Turf Class, closing up well. That was his second best race of 2017. Second in the Fairgrounds Handicap, and second in the John Connolly, which is being run this weekend at Sam Houston. That was a very good second place finish in the Connolly, also probably his third best race of 2017. But at the end of the year, he got a little tired. I think in this spot, firmer ground, he should run a big one. At 3-1, I'll take my chances with him. So to recap my bets for the 8th from Gulfstream, it's the 51st running of the Grade 3 WL McKnight Handicap. Gonna go with the 7-horse Oscar nominated. Gonna go 7-9-5-3 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 9. It's beginning of the late pick 4 from Gulfstream. The 9th race, it's the 21st running of the Hurricane Birdie, Grade 3 purse, $175,000. It's your fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 12 horses going the distance of ground here, 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the Gulfstream Park dirt course. 7 furlongs, 1,400 meters. And what they're doing with this card here at Gulfstream, they're trying to make it into like a Breeders' Cup in January, similar to what Belmont does in June on Belmont Stakes weekend, doing a Breeders' Cup in June. But I have to say the Belmont Stakes weekend is a lot better because us New Yorkers do everything better. Just saying. But it is I like the way this. All these races are situated where you can see horses come back maybe from the Breeders' Cup or the late season races to start their campaign for 2018. But to start the pick 4 here, I'm gonna go about 3 deep in this race. My top pick, I'm gonna go to the number 10 horse Nona Mella. I'm gonna go 10-7-8-1 in the superfecta. I'll go 10-7-8 to start off the pick 4. But my top pick, number 10, Nona Mella. 4-1, Javier Castellanos on this top Fletcher trained 4-year-old filly by Arch. Most recently, this horse had a start the 16th of December. That came at Gulfstream, 1 mile in the Grade 3 Rampart. This horse finished third by 4.5 lengths that day. Just sat third most of the race. Really couldn't get a good closing kick. She didn't weaken out of it, but she didn't quicken it out either. She just stayed. I think coming here, furlong less, a little extra pace in this race, I do think she could get a good closing kick to win. Start before the 21st of October, that came at Keeneland, 7 furlongs in the Grade 3, Grade 2 Raven run. This horse finished 5th by 4.5 lengths that day. She just really weakened out of it. It was a little bit wide. It just wasn't her day to win. And then the progress at the Spa on closing weekend, 6 furlongs on the slop. Horse finished second by 5.25 lengths, closed up well, but she just couldn't catch the one who just ran a little bit better. She's coming into this race very nicely. Her last one wasn't half bad. With extra speed in this race, I do think she could get a good closing kick to win, so watch out for her. So to recount my bets for the 9th from Gulfstream, it's the 21st running of the Grade 3 Hurricane Birdie. Gonna go with the 10 horse Nona Mella. I'm gonna go 10-7-8-1 in the superfecta. I'll go 10-7-8 to begin my late pick 4 ticket. To race number 10 now from Gulfstream Park, the 10th race, it's the 9th running of the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint, purse $175,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 11 horses going the distance of ground of 1,000 meters here, or 5 furlongs on the Gulfstream Park Turf course. 1,000 meters, 5 furlongs. Rails at 84 feet, so they'll be using the outer portion of the turf course. Top pick in this race, and my single in the pick 4, number 7 horse Richard's Boy. I'm going to go 7-6-8-2 in the superfecta, 7-6-8-2 super, but my top pick in a single in the pick 4, number 7 Richard's Boy. 7-2, Joel Rosario's on this Peter Miller trained 6-year-old gelding by Idiot Proof. Most recently, this horse had to start New Year's Day at Santa Anita, down the hill in the Hernandez Stakes. This horse finished third by 4.5 lengths. Broke on top and was setting the pace, and the closer Pee Wee Reese just got to this horse, but I do think this horse's better distance is 5 furlongs. Is getting it today, and this horse does travel well from years past. To start before the 4th of November, that came at Del Mar, 5 furlongs in Breeze Cup Turf Sprint. Horse finished second by head, just with the leaders that day, closed up well, but the other Peter Miller trained winner, Stormy Liberal, just ran a little bit better race at the end, but this horse had a decent second place finish. And then the California Flag handicap at Santa Anita, 6.5 furlongs downhill, 21st of October. Horse finished second by half length. Was with the leaders early on and got caught right before the wire. Like I said, the 5 furlong distance is up this horse's alley. Last time this horse won, you have to go back to the 19th of May. Came at Pimlico, 5 furlongs in a turf sprint. Horse won by a neck. Was just with the leaders that they dueling. Got the lead at the stretch and took off. Very nice victory at the end. Making his Gulfstream debut shouldn't be a problem. Like I said, he likes this distance, so watch out. A logical single for me. So to recap my bets for the 10th from Gulfstream Park, it's the 9th Gulfstream Park turf sprint. Gonna go with the 7 horse Richard's Boy. Gonna go 7-6-8-2 in the superfecta. Single the 7 horse in the late pick 4. So now let's get on to race number 11 from Gulfstream. The 11th race, it's the 10th running of the South Beach Stakes. Purse $125,000. It's for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 12 horses here, going the distance of ground of about, and it's very about, the about distance of 1,500 meters, or about 7.5 furlongs on the Gulfstream Park turf course. They'll be using the inner portion of the turf course, so just keep that in mind. My top pick in this race, I'm going to go to the 11 horse, number 11, Celestine is the top pick. I'm going to go 11-5-1-9 in the superfecta, 11-5-1-9 super. Top pick, number 11, Celestine, will be on my pick 4 ticket, along with all 4 of those horses. I think this is the race you can maybe catch a price in, but 11-5-1-9 in the pick 4 and in the super for me. Top pick, number 11, Celestine, 5-2, Jose Ortiz is on this Christophe Clement train, 6-year-old mare by Scat Daddy. This horse absolutely loves this turf course. But most recently, this horse had a start here in New York at Belmont, 23rd of September, 1 mile in the Grade 3 Noble Does Mel Stakes. Horse finished 3rd by 4 3/4 lengths that day. Small field of 5 horses. This horse just stalked that day and really couldn't get a good closing kick at the end. It just wasn't her day to win. I think taking this horse to the sideline, coming back to a race course this horse really loves running on, I think she could run a major improvement of a race. Start before the 10th of June. Came again here at Belmont, 1 mile in the Grade 1 Just a Game. Horse finished 5th by 4.5 lengths. This horse won the Just a Game in 2016, but in 2017, luck wasn't on her side. She really just weakened out of it. It just wasn't her day to win. And then her last Gulfstream outing, the 1st of April, 1 mile in the Honey Fox. Horse won by 1 1/4 lengths, was on late all around, just had a very nice easy victory at 30 cents to the dollar. And then before the end of Sand Springs at Gulfstream, 1 mile, March to 4th. She won that day by 2 lengths, 70 cents to the dollar, on lead all throughout. Wide post tread didn't affect this horse. A very nice, easy victory. She won her last 3 on this turf course by winning the Honey Fox in 2016 also. Like I said, she likes this turf course. At 5-2, if the A horse is here today, if she's ready, I think she can run a big one. To the fact of, I actually might play 2 pick 4 tickets with a single of Celestine also, and keep it cheap. But maybe if she doesn't show up today, I'm going to play on my regular pick 4 ticket, the expensive one. I can maybe catch a price with my other horses here, possibly the 5 horse team of teams who's coming into this race very nicely by the workout run, and coming into this race with some good races under her belt, possibly with the 1 horse West Hit, who's coming into this race, another good horse who's coming into this race very nicely after a decent second place finish, closing up well in the turf, Tropical Oaks, and maybe even the 9 horse Stormy Victoria, who's again coming into this race very nicely, and she can maybe close up well if there's a pace meltdown, along with the 1 horse West Hit. But to recap my bets now for the 11th from Gulfstream, it's the 10th running of the South Beach. Gonna go as a top pick, number 11, Celestine. Gonna go 11-5-1-9 in the superfecta. I'll use all 4 of them in my pick 4. So now let's get on to today's 12th race. It's the featured on the program. The 12th race, it's the 2nd running of the Pegasus World Cup Championship Invitational. Grade 1 purse, $16 million. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards here. Field of 12 horses, and we have 2 also eligible, so you have the 13 and 14. They only draw in if one of the horses scratches, so we're going to have a field of 12 here, going the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or 1 mile and 1/8, 1 lap around the Gulfstream Park main track. It is dirt at Gulfstream, by the way, to keep in mind. 1,800 meters, one lap around. My top pick in this one, I love the 2-horse West Coast from this post draw here today. I'm going to go 2:10.96 in the superfecta. 2:10.96 super. To the pick 4 now. I'm going to go 3 deep. I'm going to use the 2-horse West Coast. I'm going to use the 10-horse Gun Runner, who I think he can get a good trip from the outside. And I'm going to use Toast in New York. I'll get to a reason why I'm going to use Toast in New York at the end. But 2:10.9 in my pick 4 ticket, 2:10.96 in my superfecta ticket, but I will have an extended pick 4 ticket on my extended superfecta ticket for this race on my Twitter page on Saturday, so go check that out, which will cost a little bit of money, but I think it's very hittable. But my top 4 is 2:10.96. But my top pick number 2, West Coast, 8-1. Javier Castellanos on the spot Bob Baffert, trained 4-year-old colt by Flatter. This horse ran the 4th in November. That came at Del Mar, a mile and a quarter in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Horse finished 3rd by 3.5 lengths that day. Finished, was 3rd most of the race. Had to steady a little bit that day, and he just didn't have the best of trips. I don't know if it was Javier Castellanos' best moment as a rider. I don't think he gave the best of rides. I do think from the inside today on a racetrack, Javier Castellanos knows his way around. He could get a good stalking position here today and get a good closing kick. But before then, the Pennsylvania Derby at Parks, mile and 8th on the 23rd of September, his horse won by 7 1/4 lengths, his best run of his life. He stalked that day, got the lead, and then took off clear. Very nice, easy victory. Deserving a 107 buyer. And then at Saratoga, mile and a quarter lengths, 26th in the Travers. Horse won by 3 1/4 lengths on a lead off the route. Just had a very easy victory. Mike Smith won the Travers last 2 years in a row. Bob Baffert won the Travers last 3 years in a row. It was just a very easy victory. Won the Los Al Derby before that. Won the Easy Go before that very nicely. He's a very versatile horse. He could set the pace, or he could just sit off of it, or he could close. I think he'll be sitting right off the pace today, maybe 4th or 5th. Early, and I do think that's a good position to win. So he'll be my top pick at 8-1. He's been training very well. I also like, the 10-horse Gun Runner. He's on my ticket. I think he can get a good race here today from this wide post draw. He's probably going to be named the horse of the year, and he deserves it. He won the Breeders' Cup Classic on lead all throughout at the end last year. But at the end of the race in the Classic, he did look like he was weakening a little bit, but he still won very nicely. But I do think the mile and 8th distance is his best distance. It's not a mile and a quarter, mile and 8th. Before that, he won the Woodward very nicely. He won the Whitney very nicely. Won the Stephen Foster. Decent second place finish in the Dubai World Cup, and won the Razorback last year very easily. He was very perfect last year, other than one minor flaw. The biggest test, like I said, will be the wide post draw, but I do think he'll be leaving from the outside. My thoughts on the race, on the pace projection of the early portion of the race, I think Sharp Ace Tech is going to set the pace. I do think Collected will be with him second. I do think this horse, Gun Runner, will leave from the outside, and he'll probably be 3rd going into the turn, maybe a little wide. And I also think Toast in New York from the outside will follow Gun Runner, and he'll probably sit 4th. Frankie Dettori will want to get a little bit close to the pace, and Frankie Dettori and Jamie Osborne have been talking about this race, saying how they want to follow Gun Runner, and I do think from a barrier draw right next to each other, he can follow him very nicely. And I think if Toast New York is fresh enough, he can run a big one. And number 9, Toast, like I said, Toast New York will be on my pick 4 ticket also. He's owned by Al Shakab, the 7-year-old horse. Jamie Osborne trains this one. Frankie Dettori gets the leg up from coming in from the United Kingdom ride. Frankie Dettori, I saw in an interview this week, hasn't been to Gulfstream since 1999, since he won with Delaney in the 99 Breeders' Cup Turf. Since then, Gulfstream Park has been renovated, making it from a mile race course to a mile and 8th race course, and it's changed a lot. But I do think Frankie should run a big one, because he's a very smart rider, and this horse is a very good horse also. But this horse made its first start in nearly 3 years, a little over 3 years actually, last time out at Lingfield, the 6th December, mile and a quarter at Lingfield in just a conditions race. This horse won by a length, carrying 130 pounds, which is a quite high weight in that race. He led early, setting pace early on in the race, lost it, but came back. It was a very small, light field in class, but he just had a very easy victory that day. Frankie didn't really give him the stick a lot, but they've been saving his horse for the race. He likes the dirt. He trains well. He should run a big one. Before that Lingfield race, you have to go to his start earlier, the 1st of November of 2014. Santa Anita Park, mile and a quarter in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Horse finished second by a nose that day. He sat second most of the race, closed up well at the end with an all-out finish between Byron, Toast New York, and California Chrome. His horse just missed, but if you remember that race, that was the race Byron came over at the start and basically shut out Shared Belief. Byron was on the front end all throughout. This horse is second. Byron should have been disqualified, and this horse should have been put up. That was my decision. It wasn't because I had a lot of money on this horse, and would have probably, if this horse would have won that day, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be on some island because, like I said, I had a a lot of money on him. We'll go with that, but. That Breeders' Cup was a decent second place finish. Before that, had a decent second place finish in the Pacific Classic. You could throw out his North America debut where he finished 6th in the Belmont Derby. But the biggest question is this horse fresh enough? He could definitely run on form, but a 7-year-old horse, second start off a very long layoff. Can he run? Like I said, they talked about tracking Gun Runner with a poster right next to him. He can do it. He'll probably be sitting 4th, just tracking leaders. And at the end, if he's fresh enough in the final 2 furlongs, I do think he can win. 20-1 is a great price. I'm gonna keep him on my ticket. Why not? Let's see what he does today. So to recap my bets for today's 12th race from Gulfstream Park, it's the second running of the Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup Invitational. Gonna go with the number 2 horse here as the top pick, West Coast. I'm gonna go 210.96 in the superfecta. I'll go 210.9 in the pick 4. If you've been following my pick 4 ticket, it's gonna cost about 18 or so bucks for 50 cents, which I think is very affordable. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.